1. Preface. Magic, sorcery, spells, witchcraft, etc., are all powers of the mind. The success of any working depends upon the strength and power of the operator's mind, aura, mental concentration, and his/her ability to sense and direct energy. Understanding energy, discerning between different energies, invoking, evoking, and directing energy is the foundation of all magic. This comes through power. Meditation. How diligently and consistently one applies oneself to a program of power meditation will determine how powerful one's workings are. People who are new are encouraged to start out with white and gray magic, as black magic requires more knowledge and skill. This comes in time. Most books and writings about black magic claim one must work up a frenzy of hatred and anger. This is not always the case. The strength of your will and which power is what determines success or failure when working black magic. When you reach a higher level of power and your soul has opened up, everything changes. Ceremony is also unnecessary. I never use any ceremony anymore. The important thing to remember is use whatever works best or yourself as an individual. Successes bolster the self-confidence necessary for success in your workings. I am writing this for experienced mages. You should already be familiar with how to raise and direct energy. 2. 3. Table of Contents. Magical Evocation and Invocation 5. The Threefold Law of Return. Exposing this lie and its origins 7. About Black Magic 9. Black Magic and Mental Health 11. The Black Arts 13. Standard Destruction Ritual for Revenge 15. Black Magic and Killing with the Aura 17. Image Magic 19. Creating a Destructive Thought Form Servitor 21. Using Thought Forms 25. Creating Elementals 27. The Elements in Black Magic 29. Creating a Fire Elemental Thought Form 31. How to Deliver the Evil Eye 33. Energy Ripping 35. Death Spell 37. Fighting Back 39. Demons who specialize in black magic 41. Herbs in black magic 43. Incense for black magic 47. Astrology, the planets in black magic 49. Timing your magic with the moon 51. Planetary hours 53. Runes in black magic 55. The Knighting Pole 59. Binding Spell 61. 4. The Satanic Rosary 63. Candle Burning Spell 65. 5. Magical Evocation and Invocation. There are basically two ways of summoning an entity or working with energy: evocation and invocation. Spiritual evocation is summoning an entity, whether it be a demon, spirit, deceased person, or elemental, and the being appears outside of the operator. When working with energy, the energy is always on the outside of the operator and never inside his/her body. With evocation, there is never a direct tie or connection. Invocation is taking the spirit into one's self. The being actually enters the operator's body. An example is invoking a demon and the demon speaks through the operator using his/her voice to communicate. Often when this happens, one's voice may change, becoming deeper, raspy, or different in some way. During seances, often the medium is able to produce a substance called ectoplasm to provide a luminescent material in order for the evoked spirit to manifest itself visibly. This is a form of invocation as there is a direct connection with the spirit and the medium. There are many different beings. One thing I have learned is with Satan's demons, when they enter us, they never harm us in any way. We are always conscious and fully aware. When they are speaking through us, we are aware of what they are saying, and rarely is anything ever forced. One doesn't experience gaps or missing time as those who invoke angelic beings have. Angels often masquerade as demons. There are entities that are not of Satan, and when they are invited in, usually these are angels or related ilk, they will take over and cause harm to the person who invoked them, and the individual will not have any memory of the event. They will have missing time and more than likely other lingering problems as well. Satan is the bringer of knowledge. He has no reason to cause anyone to forget something or have lapses in memory in order to hide something. People who dabble with angels and other astral entities of whom they are not familiar with can experience these problems, and then of course, through ignorance and foolishness they blame the devil. Some demons come around and like to play. One time when was at work, a co-worker showed me a photo of his girlfriend. I felt a demon enter me and he said to me, "Go ahead." I began reading her. The co-worker was surprised at my accuracy. Of course, this was my demon friend speaking through me. Most available texts on spells and magic, due to a lack of knowledge, spiritual and magical knowledge, was removed and obliterated by the Christian Church. Not only give wrongful instructions, but instructions that can also be very dangerous when working black magic, using death energy and other destructive forces. 6. There is a great difference between evocation and invocation. When we invoke energy or spirits, we create a link to the energy or spirit through ourselves. Obviously, if one is using destructive or death energy, this can be very dangerous. Invocation also includes building up energy within one's soul and discharging it through one's aura and / or chakras. This creates a tie to the victim. Most black magic spells that go wrong do so because of errors on the part of the mage. There are other reasons for a black magic working going wrong, such as the victim having a powerful aura that is able to deflect negative energy, the victim is under powerful spiritual protection. If one is under Satan's protection, nothing can touch him / her, or bad timing on the part of the mage. There can be other reasons, but the above are the most common. Even white magic where healing is concerned can pose problems to the mage who invokes the energy before applying it. Anytime energy is invoked, a powerful connection is established. Obviously, no one in his / her right mind would want to connect with a disease. If the mage is working on money, personal power, or some other positive application of energy, then invoking is desirable. This also goes for love spells. and workings of lust. One must know the difference when working a spell, as ignorance or misapplication of the above can result in a spell backfiring or other undesirable outcomes. For example, evoking death energy, the advanced mage should be familiar with this energy. Death energy is prevalent in mortuaries, cemeteries, places where wars were fought, where massacres occurred, and other places of death. The energy is grey, dismal, and depressing. The mage should go into a trance. Surround him/herself with the energy, but not take it into his/her body. The mage should direct the energy using his/her will and visualization into a ball or other form. The energy should be condensed tighter and tighter into the ball or form for power. The formed energy can then be expanded or contracted according to how the mage intends for it to be delivered to the victim. If delivering to the victim's chakras, the energy should be tightly compacted and exploded, or expanded upon entry into the victim's body. If the energy is to collect and adhere to the victim's aura, the energy should be expanded to envelope the entire aura. Variations can be used according to one's individual preferences. 7. The threefold law of return. Exposing this lie and its origins. The threefold, the tenfold, the 100-fold. All of these were invented by a few human beings to frighten the masses, in order to maintain spiritual control. With the availability of knowledge in modern times, witchcraft could no longer be suppressed, so the oppressors had to find a way to keep it in line so real power and control can remain in the hands of a few. These few know the truth and are adepts in black magic, which they use liberally to spiritually enslave the masses. They control the mainstream religions that are nothing but programs to suppress knowledge and control humanity. The article below exposes this lie for what it is. The first known reference in print to the threefold law of return appeared in 1970 in Witchcraft Ancient and Modern by Raymond Buckland, who was initiated into the craft by Gerald Gardner and was instrumental in introducing Gardnerian witchcraft into the United States. With enough research, it is evident that the threefold emerged with the Gardnerian tradition. Then, we have the sevenfold, and I am sure everyone has heard of the tenfold. My point here is none of this recent man-made nonsense has anything to do with the original religions. Its sole purpose is to keep people from using their inborn power and to promote a passive attitude that is accepting of abuse. This is no different from the Christian Church. This threefold teaching was taken from the Eastern concept of karma after it merged with Western Christianity. After the Eastern teachings of karma picked up the Judeo-Christian overtones of divine punishment, the product evolved into yet another system of control with the same theme of keeping power in the hands of a few who know how to use it to exploit humanity. One thing led to another, and Gerald Gardner added more to this and promoted the belief that witches must never use their powers to cause harm. Everybody has to take abuse and keep the passive attitude. The Wiccan read, and it harm none, do what ye will. According to Gardner, the creed is derived from good King Paul, who declared, do what you like, so long as you harm no one. King Paul is a fictitious character from the French novel by Pierre Louis, 1870–1925, Les Adventures du Roi Paul, Souverain Pale Lard et Debonair, 1901, and reprinted in 1925 numerous times. Since, or The Adventures of King Paul, the Body and Good-Natured Sovereign. This is the basis of Wicca. Wicca is nothing more than a Christianized version of the old religions. Wiccans have taken selected rites and teachings to suit their whims from the original religions and have twisted, corrupted and transformed them, and are now passing themselves off as the original religion. The hypocrisy can be readily seen in the gods they acknowledge. Many, if not most of these gods and goddesses that they claim to 8. worship, were the ones who brought the teachings of magic to humans, both white and black magic. They are known as the fallen ones. The original horned god is Satan. In addition, few Wiccans bother to do any in-depth research regarding the gods and goddesses they commune with and worship. Most of these deities are of the pantheon of hell. Many Wiccans and modern pagans also unknowingly mix their deities, angels, with demons, and this can spell disaster. I read a long list of deities these people claim to worship, and it is obvious they really know nothing much about them. Most of these writings consist of nothing but double talk, for example, how Ishtar should be evoked instead of Ashtaroth, even though they are the same goddess. They claim using the name Ashtaroth is different, even though they readily admit she is the same goddess. According to author Raymond Buckland, Wiccans claim their religious roots to be evident in a Paleolithic cave painting of a man dressed in stag skins, presumably performing a dance. Caverne de Trois Frères at Ariège, France is the site of this cave painting. It is just that, a man dressed up in animal skins, and is no proof of anything. Satanism has often served as the scapegoat for these New Age religions and movements, whose adherents view themselves as so good and perfect. Wicca is a Christianized corruption of the old pagan religions. Wicca is the Judeo-Christianized version of witchcraft. One of the major goals of Christianity is to destroy the past and replace it with fictitious versions that conform to the lie of Christianity. Recently, they have been working to turn the religion into a goddess cult, by gradually getting rid of the horned gods so there will be fewer and fewer ties with the original religions. Wicca is a bogus movement, not based upon the facts, but like Christianity, it is based upon stolen and altered rites and teachings. Like Christianity, it depends upon the ignorance of its followers to thrive. References: Witches and Witchcraft by Rosemary Guiley, 1989. Threefold Law of Return, pages 340–41. Also, Wiccan Read, pages 363–64. Horned God, 163–64. Witchcraft Ancient and Modern by Raymond Buckland. 9. About Black Magic. People do things to and against other people in life, because they know they can get away with it. Much of this is due to humanity as a whole residing on a very low level of spirituality, due to knowledge being forcibly removed and destroyed by the Christian churches. There is rarely any serious justice, and most people are indoctrinated to endure all kinds of injustices and abuse. If everyone were spiritually empowered, there would be a lot more thoughtfulness and consideration for and how we interact with others. Society and the human race as a whole would evolve to a higher level. There are natural laws. One of them is a species or individual for that matter, who is unable to fight back and defend him/herself against others who seriously intend harm will cease to exist. Many species of plants and animals become extinct because they are unable to defend themselves. Our bodies are fighting continuously against invaders in the form of bacteria, viruses, and germs. If our cells stopped fighting and killing harmful invaders, we would quickly become sick and die. This is a fact of life and natural law. Ethics and a certain code of conduct is necessary for civilization to continue, and self-control is important. Sometimes someone is having a bad day, or things are said or done many times, unintentionally. However, if someone is seriously out to harm you or deprive you of justice, you have an obligation to fight back. Satanists are not victims. The working of black magic requires much strength of mind and skill. Wiccans and others of the RHP lack this skill and therefore are at a major disadvantage. The stronger we become in mind, the more powerful we are at all times. Regular power meditation, chakra work, and visualization are essential. One does not need to resort to ritual for retaliation. When we have a strong, focused mind, others will feel the effects when we think intensely of them or when we direct our energies. This is important to remember where family and loved ones are concerned. We all offend each other every now and then, but when we have a powerful mind and aura, we must remember this and be in control. Our anger can cause others to have accidents and misfortune. As for others who are purposely offensive, just focusing on them, letting your anger loose, with a strong, well-trained mind, will usually do the job. I have had things happen on my own, without having to do any rituals. 10. 11. Black magic and mental health. Most of us are familiar with psychiatry, counseling, psychology, and other mental health services. The methods used are standard. Most professionals prod the patient into expressing repressed feelings, anger, hatred, envy, resentment and related emotions, including repressed sexuality and sexual feelings. Acknowledging these repressed emotions sheds new light on the origins of serious hang-ups, neuroses, compulsions/obsessions and other serious mental health disorders. Many physical ailments are brought about by repressed emotions. Some of these end in death. These have a very detrimental effect upon one's soul and spiritual being as well. The New Age movement, Wicca, many Eastern religions, such as modern Buddhism, which have been Judeo-Christianized, and others all advocate denial of expressing so-called baser emotions. This leads to poor mental health and, worse, Catholic priests are a blatant example of the consequences of sexual repression. Sexual repression is about the worst, as the sex drive is as powerful. As and is tied directly to the life force, it doesn't just go away. Anything that is repressed comes out in warped, distorted, and unhealthy ways. Many problems would be avoided if people would vent their feelings and stop repressing them. This isn't about going on a rampage, it is just acknowledging one's own feelings and letting them out. One should always be honest with one's self. By denying anger, hatred, jealousy, and other so-called negative emotions, one is laying a pattern for serious problems down the road. People who claim to love, and deny their anger and hatred, take on that artificial alien deadpan smile that is so common amongst Christians in the advanced stages of Christianity. Inside, these people are extremely unbalanced and are literally like grenades with the pins pulled, just waiting to explode, either turning their pent-up anger out on others or in upon themselves. This is extremely unhealthy. Yet, they consistently excuse the hatred and wrathful behavior of the false god they worship. This sets the stage for serious mental illness. Another common teaching is denial of materialism. The reason for this is so wealth and power can be kept in the hands of a few, the same people at the top, who work to remove spiritual knowledge and replace it with Christianity and other lies. Material possessions make life more enjoyable and are an extension of ourselves. There should be a healthy balance between spiritualism and materialism. The merging of the material with the spiritual is the key to attaining the Godhead of the soul. No one has a right to dictate to others how they should feel about someone or something. Ritual is often an excellent means of venting emotions. Anything that is consciously and intentionally repressed will cause serious problems later on. 12. 13. The Black Arts. I have been placing emphasis on the black arts, because there is little information available on the subject, as opposed to the white magic books and writings. In order to have true power, one must be adept at both. This takes time, patience, and a lot of hard work. Many people often wonder why their spell workings have failed. This is because one's mind and aura are weak. Sure, we can go to Satan and his demons when we are in need, but the goal of Satanism is to become powerful ourselves. Satan and his demons guide us and give us the knowledge we need to increase our powers. Satan does not waste his time on those who do nothing with themselves. True. Satanism is not Disneyland. If you want serious power, you will have to work hard at it. This can take years, but is well worth the effort. We save our own souls. There is time we can all squeeze in with a bit of organization. Do what you can do. Breathing exercises only take around 10 minutes and are very effective in increasing one's powers. They can be done first thing in the morning or even in the bathroom if you lock the door, if one lives in a full house. Even 5 minutes of visualization exercises a day will bring many benefits. Meditation is being in the here and now, emptying your mind of all thoughts. This can be done anywhere and at any time. Much can be done with a well-trained mind. For example, knowledge of anatomy gives one the ability to either heal or inflict harm. Nerves can cause pain, if one focuses upon them in a hated one. This is one of many examples. You can also open and access other areas of your brain that are dormant in most human beings and empower these areas by focusing on them and attempting to use the abilities they provide when activated. Thoughts can be placed in another person's head the same way. Concentration and repetition are necessary here. For those who do not as of yet have enough power, many times a spell or ritual can be repeated on consecutive nights, with the cycle of the moon. Spells for growth and increase should be performed during a waxing moon, while spells for destruction should be performed during a waning moon. In some cases, spells may need to be repeated. When a working is successful, you should know it and there is usually no more need to repeat it. For those who like to do their workings outdoors, the earth has vast energy reserves for people who know how to manipulate energy. The use of a pendulum can prove invaluable. Obtaining consistently accurate answers from a pendulum takes much practice and patience. One can begin with a map of a suitable area that is secluded for ritual work, by using a pencil in one hand and a pendulum in 14. The other, a series of yes/no questions can be asked to pinpoint a spot. The pendulum will begin to move rapidly in circles when taken to a spot out of doors, where there are natural lines of earth energy. Stones can be used to enhance a circle of power. The circle of power is for building and concentrating your energies before directing them at the desired goal. Stones containing quartz increase the power of the energies in the circle and act as transmitters. Circles are also used for protection and as barriers. Always remember, after any black magical working, to clean your aura and your chakras with either a bright light, as that of the sun. When we use and draw upon negative or destructive energy, a residue can remain clinging to our auras. If this is left, it can cause problems, as energy tends to attract energy of the same wavelength. This is especially true with those who, due to a lack of knowledge, invoke energy, instead of evoking it and then use it for destruction, thus creating a tie. Taking the time to clean your aura will rid your soul of anything negative that could cause you problems. Take your time at this. When you are able to see your aura brightened and your chakras as well, then ask your pendulum if you are completely cleansed. If not, ask what needs more work, going through your chakras one by one with yes/no questions that the pendulum is able to answer. When finished with any ritual, it is important not to think about the ritual or your desired goal. Let the ritual alone to do its work, as dwelling, worrying or rehearsing the working can manifest the wrong energies and interfere. When we worry, or dwell on the outcome, we can sometimes alter the results we work to influence. This is where void meditation is essential. Regular practice of void Meditation gives us the ability to turn off unwanted thoughts and influences. Workings of revenge and black magic are best done when the hated one is asleep. During sleep, the victim's psychic defenses are down and the subconscious/suggestive mind is wide open. Everyone should cleanse his/her aura and chakras on a daily basis. This is as essential as regular bathing. Unfortunately, due to the systematic removal of spiritual knowledge, few people know about their own souls, how to properly care for or keep them healthy. This can be done upon awaking, doesn't take long, and can prevent illness, psychic attack and other negative energies from getting a hold. It will also enhance your charisma when interacting with others. 15. Standard Destruction Ritual for Revenge. The following ritual is basically for beginners and those who are new. Adepts use more techniques that are advanced, and in many cases, a formal ritual is not needed. The strength of your mind, aura, will, and focus determine the outcome of any destruction ritual. When one is new, Satan and his demons often grant favors, but the essence of true Satanism is self-empowerment. The destruction ritual begins with the standard ritual. After invoking the 4 crowned princes of hell, you should read a prayer that you have written by yourself in your own words, asking for the destruction of your enemy. Work on only one enemy at a time, unless you have a specific agreement with a demon/s in exchange for services you both agree upon. Attempting to punish more than one enemy at a time will only weaken your energies, as they will be dispersed. Energy should be directed like a laser to do its job. Included in the prayer should be the name of the offending one, the severity of the punishment you wish to see inflicted, and how they offended you and your feelings about being victimized. It also helps to have either a small personal possession of the offenders or a photo of them, but is not necessary. Either read the prayer aloud or silently to yourself, then push the tip of your athame through the paper and light it with the flame of one of your candles and place it in the burning bowl. Now this next step is extremely important. The following is a good cathartic that can be a lifesaver to one's mental health and psychological well-being. This is the meditation step and is highly recommended in cases where there is an extreme amount of pent-up anger and hatred. Here is where you visualize the person as clearly as you can and just let loose until total exhaustion. This ritual is best done while the offender is sleeping. Visualize the offender clearly and inflict all of the mutilation, injury, and pain you can imagine upon them. Beat them, stab them, torture them, and torment them. You can repeatedly recite their name over and over again in your mind. Release all of your hatred and anger in any way you wish. Just do it in your mind. Some people hate someone so hard they cry. This is fine. This is a cathartic and a very intensely emotional release. You must continue on and on until you are literally exhausted. The most important thing here is to stay focused. You should also feel very justified. Any lapse in concentration or feelings that creep in where you feel you are not 100% in the right and completely may not only destroy a destruction ritual, but can be dangerous. 16. Now, close the ritual by giving thanks to Satan and any demons you may have called forth that the offender will be rightfully punished. Ring the bell, turning clockwise, and say Hail Satan, either silently to yourself or aloud. Take the burned remains and you can flush them down the toilet or dispose of them in some other degrading manner. Now this step is extremely important. Take all of the time you need with this and then some. You have just dealt with some very negative and destructive energy. You should clean your aura and chakras. This is done by continuously placing a white light or cleansing fire around your aura to clean and burn off negative energy residue. Then proceed to place the light or fire around each of your chakras one by one. Then proceed to spin your chakras, say to yourself speed of light for each one. See it spinning until it turns a brilliant white like the sun. Stand up and visualize a flat disc-like table surface above your head, shining a brilliant white. The surface will descend upon your head and all the way down through your body and past the bottoms of your feet, pushing and expelling any negative residue from your being. Repeat this exercise at least 2 times. You should also keep cleaning your aura for several days following the working. It is important that you put the experience behind you and do not dwell on the offender or concern yourself with hopeful anticipation over their punishment. Let the working do its job. Banish the offender and the incident from your thoughts. This working can take up to a month or more. The ritual can be varied, using a puppet. 17. Black magic and killing with the aura. To cause bad luck and / or harm. If your own aura is powerful enough, just sitting and stewing about the person should be enough. I have found it is important to visualize repeatedly in a relaxed, but angry way a specific misfortune. With all workings of black magic, the outcome depends on the strength of the auras involved. The aura of the victim must be weaker than that of the sorcerer. If the victim's aura is more powerful, the working could rebound as a more powerful aura naturally deflects negative energy. Some people just have naturally powerful auras. This can come from past lives. If an offending person naturally has a more powerful aura, you will be able to feel resistance. Take the time to build your own spiritual strength before doing any kind of this sort of working. Killing. I speak from experience here. Death energy is gray, not black. Death energy can be found in cemeteries or anywhere the dead are buried. To be effective, I have found from experience, death energy must be continually reapplied to the victim and programmed to kill, until the victim is dead. Affirm. The gray death energy is killing _____________. When you are directing the energy into the victim. To facilitate this working, draw out the life force as with energy ripping and replace it with gray death energy. Be sure to affirm that you are drawing out the life force when you do this, and this should be done before you apply the death energy. 18. 19. Image magic. Image magic has been used for centuries. The basic idea is that using some Object to represent a victim. What is done to the object is done to the victim. This practice goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. For best results, use a personal belonging of the victim that has their vibes in it. To construct the puppet: a photo, a small article of clothing, car keys, small personal possessions, hair, fingernail clippings, sexual fluids, or even dirt taken from a footprint can be used. There are endless possibilities, as long as the article has a close connection in some way with the enemy. Puppets were often constructed from wax or clay in the old days. Wax can be hard to work with. It is best to construct the image to be sturdy and not soft, if you plan to inflict any serious damage. The puppet should be constructed to take abuse. What is important is that the right amount of focusing and will goes into the working. Driving a nail into its head can cause insanity. Driving a nail into the heart, with the right kind of focus and intensity, will cause death if done with enough intensity and the operator's aura is powerful enough. Burying the image in the ground will cause the person to waste away as the image rots in the ground. This is best done in a cemetery where death energy can be programmed to cling to the puppet and through this destroy the victim represented. Take whatever you have and use it in the construction of the image. Clothing articles may have to be cut to size. What is left over can be saved for the ritual. Working: a doll can be sewn and stuffed with what you have obtained. Wax, clay or the like can be molded and blended with pieces of the victim's personal belongings. While constructing this image, chant aloud, or inside your head, the name of the enemy it represents, over and over as long as it takes to complete the image. This should be a mantra of hatred. Reciting a victim's name backwards is very powerful in inciting their undoing. Low tones should be used. While chanting, focus intensely on the wrongs this person has committed and your hatred towards them. When it is finished, write or engrave the enemy's name upon it. A waning moon. Moon in Taurus, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces are good times for this kind of magic. You can perform a full ritual, where at the height of the ritual, you present the puppet, read aloud or to yourself the wrongs the enemy has committed against you and the curse you wish to inflict. When you are finished reading, burn the paper the curse was written on in the flame of a black candle. 20. I have a silver burning bowl where I place my requests or whatever after I have lit them. While the paper is burning and for a while afterwards, focus all of your will and hatred upon the enemy, chanting their name repeatedly. This is the time to drive nails into the image, roast it over the fire, twist it, and mutilate it or whatever. Go over the offenses, get all of the anger out until you are completely exhausted. At this point, the image can either be burned. This is best done outside in some secluded area, and the ashes can be buried. Close the ritual. We have found it most effective to nail the puppet to a tree through the head and the heart. Another technique is to bury it. You must direct the hatred and will. In my own workings, I have found one does not have to get overly emotional. Just a strong determined will, directing strong-willed hatred, for example visualizing an accident, over and over. Energy finds the path of least resistance. It is best not to be specific here, but let the energy do the damage on its own. This is best done while the victim sleeps. It is always important after a ritual to clear your mind of the working and let it do its job. Don't forget to clean your aura and chakras after any working of black magic. 21. Creating a destructive thought form servitor. For black magic, you do not want to connect in any way with the energy, for obvious reasons. For black magic, instead of invoking the energy, you form the energy outside of yourself and draw it from sources that have no connection to you. A lack of knowledge is why spells so-called backfire. A thought form is a small packet of condensed psychic energy. Like all energy, the thought form can be programmed to carry out specific tasks and/or directed to travel to a target area. The success of the thought form is dependent upon the mind strength and aura of its creator. A weak thought form will quickly dissipate, accomplishing nothing. Powerful thought forms, ideally, should be disintegrated after their tasks are completed. Energy feeds on energy, and a thought form that is several weeks old will have accumulated all kinds of different influences, emotions and other energy from its surroundings. This might appear to be amusing to some, but the mutated thought form has often been known to reappear in the locale of its creator, only to wreak havoc, due to the outside energies it has accumulated. The importance of environment. Black magic requires negative energy. Reservoirs of negative energy can be found at cemeteries, death, historical places where much battle and bloodshed occurred, so-called haunted houses where there is a lingering essence of fear, terror, and death. Hospitals have much energy of illness and disease, places where accidents occurred and so forth. Thought forms and servitors also can be created from negative energy specific to the objectives of the working. Other things to be considered when creating an entity. You should take a few days to plan your entity, its lifespan, how and where you will obtain the energy to create it and any details. You should have all of this completely in your mind when you create the form. You can write all of this out on paper or ideally, in your black book if you have one. Let these details be deeply embedded within your mind and try to dwell upon them for a couple of days before creating the entity. The longer you take to embed every detail in your mind and dwell upon it, the more powerful your entity will be. You need to thoroughly plan your entity's magical abilities, how it will deal with things specific to its purpose and so forth. This will help you to better understand and work with your entity. Also, it is important the entity be created when the planets that rule over the entity's purposes are strong. 22. You also need to plan the lifespan for the entity. Is it created for a one-time task, or to deal with ongoing issues? Do you want the entity to live on after completion of a task? Do you want the entity to dissolve after completion of its task? Do you want the entity to terminate at a specific time in its life? When affirming the entity's purpose during its creation, you can add the following. After fulfilling this task, you will exist no more. Servitors do not have to be terminated. Many witches and warlocks have kept lifetime servitors. For black magic, the servitor must be strongly controlled and one should have experience with white magic servitors before creating a lifetime black magic servitor. The black magic servitor can be programmed to absorb more and more death energy from its victims, and be used as an assassin for the experienced mage. A lifetime servitor, for either white or black magic, will need a home. This home is only for the servitor and should never be touched or disturbed in any way by outsiders. It should be hidden and only known to the mage. It can be a doll, a crystal, a picture, or talisman. The housing for the entity should be compatible with its purposes, such as color and theme. This housing should be destroyed. Should you terminate the entity, it can be buried. When creating your servitor, the housing must first be cleaned, as you would with cleaning your aura. For black magic, this must be done with external energy. Just evoke cleansing energy and infuse the dwelling with it to prepare a home for your newly created entity. The housing should be in front of you when you create the entity. You will have to feed your entity should you want it for any length of time. By feeding, this means programming it to feed from a specified energy source. To create a thought form. 1. Sit comfortably. 2. Enter into a deep trance. 3. Keep your eyes closed during this one. When you are completely relaxed, and you can no longer feel your body, you are ready to begin. For now, visualize a beam of light forming into a ball. While you are doing this, affirm, I am creating a powerful entity to go forth and complete any tasks I assign to it or him/her. The color of the light should correspond with the intended working of the thought form. Saturate the ball, packing in more and more energy with the colored energy until the form is sufficiently powerful. 23. 5. It is important that the energy be released in a straight line. Keep packing the energy into the form so it becomes more and more solidified. 6. When the energy is sufficiently strong, you can begin to shape it into whatever form will serve your purpose. Visualize what it is you want this creature to do and infuse the creature with it. Keep it simple. Complex and detailed instructions don't work with thought forms. 7. Using a very short phrase, silently or aloud, keeping your eyes closed. Command the creature, such as go now, complete your mission. Return to your home when finished. Then release it like a bullet shot into the void. The creature will feed on the aura/emotions of whomever it is sent to, especially if you program it to do this. You can program it to attach itself to another person's aura. Thought forms can be attached to material objects as well. They can either protect or cause damage. To summon your entity, just visualize it before you. If you wish to have it perform multiple tasks, remember only one task at a time, you should feed it and then state your affirmation as to what you want it to do. To destroy the thought form. 1. Summon it. Visualize it coming to you and hovering in the air before you. 2. Focus and visualize the energy dissipating like smoke into the air. Say something like you are no more. You may have to do this several times. 24. 25. Using thought forms. There are times when we want to influence many people at the same time. This can be done with a thought form programmed and placed in a certain room or area. We all know how places become haunted or have certain vibes in them. This usually happens because of an event that provoked intense emotions and left traces of these emotions behind by living people. When we are powerful enough, through intense concentration and focus, we can project energy into our hands and mold it into a ball. We should be able to feel this if it is strong enough for a working, or project energy into a ball using our chakras. The energy ball can be placed in an area where it will remain undisturbed, to be worked on later, by projecting more energy into it to make it more powerful. When we project the energy, it should be of the color of the influence we wish to manifest, for example, yellow for friendship, pink for romantic love, red for hatred and discord, accidents, green for the attraction of money and so forth. While projecting the energy and color, we need to program the thought form with focus and intensity. When the thought form is finished, we command it to go to the area where we want it to influence. We can put more than one in large areas, such as an auditorium, workplace, school, etc. After a while, they will need to be replaced, as they will dissipate as they influence people. One well-made though form can influence as many as 100 or more people at a time. 26. 27. Creating elementals. Elementals are beings whose souls are comprised of one or two elements, instead of the 5 we humans have. They have a certain degree of intelligence determined by their creator. They can be helpful in carrying out certain tasks on the astral as well as in the physical world. They can be servitors. Follow the instructions for creating a servitor, pages 19 to 21. Fire elementals appear as a fiery ball before they are formed. Water elementals appear as a glass ball before they are formed. Air elementals will have a bluish color. Earth elementals appear clay-colored. These beings are capable of many tasks. Below are a few examples. Influencing the minds and thoughts of others. Breaking up relationships or strengthening them. Forming friendships or love/lust relationships. Bending weaker individuals to the will of the mage and controlling them through the elemental. Instructions for creating the elemental. 1. The elemental should be of the element relating to and of a form corresponding to the desire you wish to have fulfilled. 2. Give the elemental a name. 3. You must impress your will upon the elemental with authority in giving it orders as what you want it to accomplish. This should be a short present tense phrase. Will never happens. For example, you are. 4. You should also impress upon the elemental that it will be successful in carrying out its order. To begin 1. Go into a trance. 2. Imagine yourself within the element you wish to use for your work, as you would do for invocation, but do not invoke the element. Instead, focus and condense the element into a sphere in front of you. The element needs to be condensed and powerful. 3. Now, shape the elemental into the desired form and impress your desire, both in feeling and a short phrase of command into it. 28. 4. Name your elemental. 5. If you wish to set a time limit, order your elemental to return to the element it was created from at a specific time, after it has completed its task. Failure to do this in some cases can result in a creature that has a life and will of its own and can be a bother. 6. The elemental can also be programmed to attack itself to and feed from the aura of the person you send it to. 7. To summon the elemental, call it by name and will it back. You can then recharge it with energy and / or a new task. Reference, Initiation into Hermetics by Franz Bardon, copyright 1956. 29. The Elements in Black Magic. Knowing the soul of someone you wish to do in, gives you power over them. The elements can be used to torment and even kill. Very few people are balanced in all 4 elements, most often, one predominates. The more predominant a certain element, the less tolerance the individual will have towards that element. Here is an example. Take the fire person. People who are predominantly fire are usually what is known as Type A personalities. These are the achievers. They are often the ones who have limitless energy, enthusiasm. They are normally self-centered, dominating, easy to anger, and impatient. Fire types are prone to high blood pressure, heart ailments. They have low tolerance for hot temperatures, and they themselves are often physically hot, even in cold weather. They are normally outgoing, in positions of leadership, and are on the downside, insensitive to the feelings and needs of others. Fire signs are Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. Take the fire element. Given the low tolerance for fire, the fire individual will not be able to effectively absorb the element. On a lesser level, visualizing an aura of fire about the fire individual or directing the fire element into him/her can cause discomfort and rage and in higher amounts, death. The same can be done with the air person, resulting in much irritability, nervousness and eventually insanity and collapse of the nervous system. Earth can hinder and slow down to where, for example, the heart stops beating, but again, this must be in a person who has an over-imbalance of the earth element. Water chills, depresses, and brings on illness. Many Satanists are convinced with a death spell, one must be intensely angry and emotional. I know from experience, this is not the case. It is in the will. Going to a cemetery or other place that reeks of death and pulling up the energy after sucking the life force out of the victim and then filling his/her aura with death energy. I have found death energy is grey, if you have a powerful mind and soul, will produce results. Death spells do not always work immediately, but over a period of time. Many different things Factor in. Also, a one-shot deal is rare and the spell needs to be worked repeatedly during a waning moon until the desired result is produced, where total death is desired. 30. As for the elements mentioned above, the results are usually immediate, but again the degree is like the death spell, cumulative. Fire magic is amplified with invoking and directing the fire element. When used in black magic, fire as opposed to earth is used to bring on sudden attacks, accidents, bloodshed, violence, and hatred. Fire can also be used to incite wars, anarchy, and cruelty. Properly evoking and directing the fire element will raise the temperature in whatever it is directed to. Fire rules over revenge, anger, dealing with enemies, inciting accidents, fires, and injuries. Water magic. When used in black magic, water magic is amplified through invoking the water element and rules over inciting jealousy, greed, suspicion, resentment, sickness, disease, and disharmony. Water when directed to another can cause one to be overly emotional, have violent reactions, lash out, and have a very difficult time with being objective. Water also can be used to incite insanity and deception, especially when combined with the ether element, which is used as an amplifier and rules over deception. Earth magic. The earth element is used in death rituals and can be used along with death energy, and is used in binding rituals. Air magic. Air incites confusion, chaos, irritability, nervousness, nervous exhaustion, arguments, and discord. 31. Creating a fire elemental thought form. This can obviously be dangerous. You should be adept at controlling and holding the fire element. Out of control, this entity can set anything on fire at random and is not to be toyed with. Be sure to read the page on advanced thought forms before attempting this. You should also be adept at creating and controlling basic advanced thought forms before working with fire. 1. Get into a trance and visualize you are in the middle of fire. Feel the heat and hear the hissing and crackling of the flames and feel the burning. 2. Now, begin to collect and condense that fire into a sphere in front of you. Draw the fire element from all directions into the sphere in front of you. The more of the fire element you direct into the sphere, the more dense, material, and hotter it will become. You should feel the heat while you are doing this. The more you compress and condense the fire, the more the heat will grow. You should actually have the sensation of literally being in an oven. You can also shape the fireball into any form you wish. The form should correspond with the job. 3. Now fill the fireball with whatever you desire it to do. Desire strongly and feel this deeply while making your affirmations. The affirmations should be a repeated phrase, right to the point and precise. 4. Like any other incendiary, the fire form will burn with the larger fire it creates. You should order the elemental to dissolve with the fire it creates, ending the mission. 5. Name your thought form and say this name several times. 6. Breathe in and then blow out with force, sending the ball on its way. 7. Forget about the thought form and working. Let it do its job. The uses for the fire thought form are obviously to set something ablaze. I have found when using fire magic, one glows with a warm aura or feels heat when the directed energy or entity is doing its job. The fireball can be directed into the body of an enemy when working black magic. These methods were used by 1920s and 1930s satanic lodges in Germany and used to eliminate enemies in the form of a psychic sacrifice. If the victim is not adept with fire, his/her blood will literally boil. The end result will be a heart attack, death from natural causes. 32. 33. How to deliver the evil eye. It has been said many times, the eyes are the window of the soul. The eyes are the only opening to the brain that is not encased in bone. Through the optic nerve, the eyes are linked to the brain. When we train our minds and elevate our witch power, we can directly mesmerize other people by just looking into their eyes and catching their gaze for several seconds. How this is done? 1. You must have a strong willful mind, able of controlling others who are weaker. 2. The closer you are to the person, the more effective this technique. This takes practice. I have found from experience, the evil eye comes with personal power. When your witch power is strong enough, projecting the evil eye comes naturally. Staring directly into someone's pupils with strong intent of malice will bring misfortune upon that person. 34. 35. Energy ripping. Black magic is all about the manipulation and direction of energy. The strength of one's mind and aura determine the type and amount of energy that one can direct and handle safely while producing the desired results. Workings fail because of weakness of one's mind and aura. Energy ripping involves drawing off the life force. One should already have a strong aura that can pull energy at will and be able to transform it for one's personal benefit. There are 2 ways of going about this. 1 is the destruction of victim's aura and the second is hooking up an energy line and draining the victim dry. This prepares the victim to be much more vulnerable to psychic attacks and completely opens him/her for the willed input of destructive energy from the mage. 1 should have a photograph or image of the victim. This is so one can visualize him/her clearly. This is very important to the operation. 2. Go into a trance state. 3. Begin by visualizing yourself drawing off the victim's aura and disintegrating it. You can visualize yourself actually eating and ingesting the aura until it is completely gone or drawing it into your sexual chakra. Always draw energy with your feminine chakras as these absorb. The masculine chakras project energy. It is best to absorb this type of energy in the lower chakras. 4. When the aura is disintegrated and ingested, visualize drawing off all of the inner energies. The victim should change from white energy to gray energy and then to black, indicating the life force has been completely drained. Clean your aura and chakras thoroughly after each working to transform the absorbed energy into personal benefit. The above 4 steps should be done frequently, a minimum of 3 to 4 times a week, to more than once a day. it will eventually take its toll. After the working has done its job and depleted the victim, one should follow up with black magic workings. Before each black magic operation, the victim's aura should be prepped with black energy so he/she will absorb the destructive energy. Just visualize him/her with a black aura and proceed with the working. Don't forget to thoroughly clean your own aura and chakras. The above is elementary black magic. It can be accomplished by most people with a basic background in energy manipulation and power meditation. More advanced techniques involve working with elemental energy and death energy. When working with death energy, one must be very adept and experienced as this can be dangerous. The life force is replaced with the destructive energy of the elements or the death energy. 36. 37. Death spell. If you have access to any personal article of the offender, this will help. 1. Construct an effigy or a puppet, using the article. 2. Go to the cemetery and get some dirt. Infuse this dirt with death energy. 3. You need to vent into the puppet, visualizing the victim, all of the hate you possibly can, especially during its construction. It is imperative here to stay focused with intent. Try to do this during a waning moon. When the moon is in Scorpio or Capricorn is good time. 4. Construct a small box. Cardboard is fine. 5. Light a black candle, concentrate intensely upon the death and destruction of the enemy. Do not be disturbed or lose your focus. 6. Put the effigy into its box. 7. Bury it in dirt inside the box. 8. Save some of the dirt. 9. Take it outside, or back to the graveyard and bury it, placing the reserved dirt on top of the box, knowing the victim will meet his/her death. 10. Do not think about the spell, or the enemy, as this will interfere with its working. 38. 39. Fighting back. One of the most important reasons we clean our auras is to get off all of the negative energy that we encounter on a daily basis. Much of this comes from others in our immediate environment. The workplace can be especially troublesome as well as the home for many. Negative people include those who forever whine and complain, but do nothing to try to alleviate their situations. Those who are forever putting others down to make themselves feel better or to divert their attentions from their own personal worthlessness. Those who blame everyone else for their woes. Those who take out their anger and frustrations through abusing others, and the list goes on and on. Satanists do not take abuse. There is a very simple meditation one who is experiencing the effects of another's negative output can do. 1. Clean your aura and chakras thoroughly, as you do not want to trap in any negative energy. 2. Expand your consciousness to your aura and feel your aura. 3. Relax and tune into your aura. 4. Visualize your aura as an outline and protective barrier. The outline should be brilliant white light like the sun, because white light deflects everything. 5. State this affirmation. My aura is powerfully and totally deflecting ____, name of offender, _____ negative energy in every way and sending it directly back to him/her. This meditation should be done with intent and then repeated when you come into contact with the offensive asshole. Just visualize and feel your aura, same as above, and repeat the affirmation a couple of times and watch the asshole's negativity destroy him/her. No Satanist should ever have to put up with or take abuse. The average person absorbs the negative energy and suffers accordingly after the negativity has built up. The offending asshole benefits by venting hostility or negativity on others and often thrives on it. The people who unknowingly absorb the energy can suffer anything from depression to illness and get caught in a vortex of negative energy, while providing the asshole with a negative outlet. The above meditation puts a dead stop to this, but remember, it must be reinforced frequently. In addition to the above, visualize the negative energy the offender is sending out, gray in color, and direct it right back to his/her aura, clinging to it. Remember to clean your aura afterwards. 41. Demons who specialize in black magic. Agars can bring about the downfall of important men, causing them to lose their position, public honor and the respect of others. She can cause earthquakes. Aim can spread destruction by means of fire, setting buildings and entire cities on fire. Ulysses destroys secret enemies. Andras brings ruin to enemies, creating financial loss and extreme misfortune. Asmodeus breaks up marriages/relationships. Focalure, Lucy Fugro-Focal, causes ships to sink and death by drowning. Glaciolabalas causes murder and death and incites bloodshed. Halbas causes wars, and punishes enemies severely. Ors punishes enemies. Larija causes fights and battles, causes wounds to become infected, and prevents them from healing. Malphas destroys the desires and thoughts of, and reveals the secrets of enemies. Marbas causes diseases. Neburos has the power to inflict evil on anyone. Os brings delusions and insanity to enemies. Ram can destroy a reputation, cities, and/or property. Sabnok causes arguments to escalate into serious fights, and causes wounds not to heal. Shaks can cause one to become deaf, dumb, or blind. Vipar causes storms, disaster, and death and causes death from infected wounds. 42. Vine reveals the identity of other witches and sorcerers. He knows all secrets and can destroy enemies. He can defend the mage against the attacks of other sorcerers and witches. He discovers hidden things, causes storms, destroys walls, and builds towers. Zapar makes women barren. 43. Herbs in black magic. Ambergris. Used for works of wrath and vengeance, psychic correspondence. Used as a fixative. Parts used are the oil for wrath and vengeance, infuse with fire when the planet Mars is strongly placed, and waxing. Ash. Wands for the securing of prosperity or for the use in works concerning death. Can be made from the wood for death, infuse with the element of earth when the planet Saturn is strongly placed and waxing. The working should be performed during a waning moon. Birch. Birch oil is oil of wintergreen. Wands can be made from the wood for use in spells of vengeance and punishment, but should always be infused with the proper elemental energy. The element of fire is usually used with wands. The fragrance can also be used in such workings. Cedar. The oil is used in spells of revenge. The wood base can be burnt during spells for money, luck in love and business, also for psychic work. Coriander. Burning coriander as incense will act to infuriate the mind for spells of black magic and other destructive workings. Cypress. The oil and incense can be used in spells of revenge and in psychic work. Dill. The use of dill provokes others to come to terms. The leaves can be burnt, or the oil can be used in anointing candles for rituals against underhanded or negative people. Dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is the perfume of aggression and is excellent for the workings of black magic. Use the balsam in spells to cause an enemy torment. Infuse with fire when the planet Mars is strongly placed and waxing. The powdered resin is good in works of wrath and in spells of inciting lust. 4. Spells of lust. Infuse with orgasmic energy. 44. Feverfew. Feverfew protects against sickness, accidents, and hysteria. Infuse with white gold energy taken from the sun and program the energy to protect. Frankincense. Use the incense to incite intensity, and bring about justice, revenge. Frankincense is very compatible with the element of fire, as are all of the spices. Hellebore. Black hellebore is a poison, and an herb of torment. The scent incites aggression and anger for works of wrath. Black hellebore can be used as a sachet mix. Black hellebore should be infused with the element of earth when the planet Saturn is strongly placed and waxing. White hellebore, same as above, and can be burnt as an incense. White hellebore is more potent than the black is. Green hellebore is the most powerful of the three. Hemlock. The oil is good for anointing talismans for destructive work. Talismans should always be infused with power. In addition, one should always know what the symbols mean on any talisman before using it. Hemlock works well with earthy, Saturnine energies and should only be used with a compatible talisman. The incense can enrage the mind for black magical workings. Olive leaves can be added to the hemlock for a more peaceful means of disposing of enemies and hated ones. Mandrake. This root is one of the most powerful for use in all kinds of magic. It corresponds with the fixed stars Deneb Algedi and Spica. It is capable of powerful work in any spell. It can be used in a sachet mix, as a talisman, as incense, as a poppet, for psychic work, or for protection. Poisonous. Mandrake is the most powerful root in love magic and is said to be the most dangerous for the mage. The mandrake should be washed in wine and wrapped in a red or white cloth that should be changed with every new moon. Mandrake can also be used in divination. Pine. Pine is good for summoning spirits and elementals of the woodlands. The resin can be used in works of lust or vengeance. Infuse with the earth element. Rue. This herb can be used to stuff a poppet, as it will cause the hated one torment in. Workings of black magic. The planet Saturn should be strongly placed and waxing. Ru should be infused with the earth element. Ideally, for spells of destruction, the moon should be waning. 45. Storax. Burnt as incense, it is used in spells of revenge, enmity, ill will, and separation. Storax should be infused with the earth element when the planet Saturn should be strongly placed and waxing. Ideally, for spells of destruction, the moon should be waning. Wormwood. Wormwood can be burnt to summon the spirits of the dead. The balsam is used in black magical workings for wrath and revenge. Wormwood also induces strong dreams. It is poisonous and should only be ingested in very small amounts. Placing wormwood in the path of a hated one will cause them bad luck. Wormwood should be infused with the earth element when the planet Saturn should be strongly placed and waxing. The moon should be waning. 46. 47. Incense for black magic. Mars. Ritual/magical rulerships. Revenge, anger, pure sexual lust, and physical gratification, courage. Determination, dealing with enemies. Inciting accidents, fires, injuries. Self-confidence. Athletics, strength, magical energy for black magic, and intensity. Candle color, red. Mars rules Tuesday. Mars is of the element of fire. Mars rules the sacral, second chakra. Martian incense. Dragon's blood, pine, cypress, benzoin, tobacco, coriander, cumin, ginger, and pepper. Saturn. Ritual/magical rulerships. Death spells/rituals, black magic, career matters, self-control, endurance, patience, land dealings, longevity, anything that has to do with the earth, inflicting long suffering through black magic, as opposed to planet Mars, accidents. Candle colors, black, navy blue. Saturn rules Saturday. Saturn is of the element of earth. Saturn rules the base chakra. Saturnine incense. Musk, myrrh, civet, patchouli, and sage. 48. 49. Astrology, the planets and black magic. Saturn and Mars are black magic planets. Uranus, sudden accidents, discord. Unexpected bad luck. Neptune, insanity, deception, confusion, loss, and Pluto. This planet gives added power, can also be used with Mars retrograde. This is not the time to perform spells of revenge or violence/black magic. They can rebound and backfire, as the universe is working in reverse. Spells for bringing peace and harmony, as in one's family, are aided at this time. Wait until the retrograde period is over with. Knowing an enemy's date of birth, you can work black magic with the energies in their charts. Whenever someone has a retrograde Saturn period, we all have this during certain periods in our lives. You can direct the negative energy to your own purposes for revenge. The universe is working against this person. During a bad Saturn transit. Saturn retrograding over personal planets, through the first house or to a lesser extent, on the progressed planets, this is the worst time of one's life. The worst of all is Saturn retrograde on the chart ruler. You can only know this by knowing the birth time. On the other hand, retrograde Jupiter is a blessing. Jupiter acts as a protector, so this is not the time to work black magic against a hated one, unless there is a strong Saturn on his/her personal planets or in his/her first house. The above-mentioned planets should be waxing and strong when the spell is cast. For maximum effectiveness. 50. 51. Timing your magic with the moon. Timing your magic with the phases of the moon is essential for success. A rule of thumb is to remember for white magic, this is best done while the moon is waxing, increasing in light, new to full. The best time is as close to the full moon as possible. Love spells, acquiring a new job, wealth success, and so forth. When the moon is waning, decreasing in light, full to new, this is the best time. For success in black magic and works of destruction, the best time being as close to the new moon as possible. The waning moon is also a good time for ending things, banishing spells and ending personal bad habits, losing weight. Black magic operations are best done when the moon is in Scorpio or Capricorn. Moon in Scorpio. This is one of the best signs for black magical workings. Revenge, hatred, venting, exposing secrets, death spells, surgery, transformation, obsession, pure sex, the occult, the darker side of things, extremes, research, banishing spells, ending things permanently, death and dying. This is the most powerful and intense of all the moon signs. Secret, underhanded, and covert operations. Willpower, drastic destruction. Like its opposite sign Taurus, Scorpio is usually permanent. Do not have surgical procedures performed on the pelvis, reproductive or sex organs at this time. Magical workings ruled by Pluto are successful at this time. Moon in Capricorn. When the moon is in Capricorn, this is another excellent time for black magical workings. Depression, ruthlessness, using people viciously, long-term results. Honors, social standing, responsibility, authority, structure, setting long-term goals and plans for the future. Not a good time to seek favors from those in authority. Magical workings and spells that feature a time delay or are lasting. Wasting, manipulating people, business, banishing. Do not have surgical procedures performed on the bone/skeletal system, teeth, or knees at this time. This is a ruthless moon sign. Workings ruled by the malefic planet Saturn are favored at this time. Moon in Pisces. Poison, drugs, self-undoing, deception, sorrow, depression, isolation, insanity. Very deep psychic stuff. Good for success in meditation and all psychic pursuits. Spells to deceive people, secrets, swindles, vulnerability. Secret enemies, altered states. This is the one of best times for endings, especially when the moon is in 20 to 30 degrees of the sign. Make sure it is not void. Psychic healing can be done. Do not have surgical procedures performed on the feet at this time. 52. 53. Planetary hours. Planetary hours of the day. Hour: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 6 a.m. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. 7 a.m. Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. 8 a.m. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars. 9 a.m. Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun. 10 a.m. Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. 11 a.m. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury. 12 noon Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon. 13, 1 p.m. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. 14, 2 p.m. Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. 15, 3 p.m. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars. 16, 4 p.m. Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun. 17, 5 p.m. Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. Planetary hours of the night. Hour: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 18, 6 p.m. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury. 19, 7 p.m. Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon. 20, 8 p.m. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. 21, 9 p.m. Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. 22, 10 p.m. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars. 21, 11 p.m. Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun. Midnight: Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. 1 a.m. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury. 2 a.m. Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon. 3 a.m. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. 4 a.m. Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter. 5 a.m. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Sun, Moon, Mars. 54. 55. Runes in Black Magic. Fa, cattle. Galdra sound, ffffffffffff, hissing. Black magic instills cowardliness, dullness, breaks the spirit, binds an enemy, instills fear and dependence in an enemy. Aurochs. Galdra sound, o as in soon. Black magic, used to threaten and destroy. Magic, transfer of energies, used for projecting or drawing in of energy. Repeated use of the rune will gradually increase the amounts of energy one can handle at any given time. Thorn. Galdra sound, th. Rune of cutting, sharpness, and pain. The Thorn rune is one of the most potent of runes for black magic workings. This rune brings brute strength, destructive power of chaos and ruin, also of death and regeneration, transformation and breaking down barriers. The power of this rune is wild and a strong mind/will is needed to direct it. Assists the energy of other runes it is used with to manifest in reality. Like a lightning bolt, Thor brings on the energies of the berserker, energies this wild should only be used in war or attack. can raise and guide thunderstorms and direct lightning. In many German fairy tales, such as Sleeping Beauty, the prick of a thorn, pin, or spindle casts a spell upon the victim. The bloodstone has been used with this rune in the raising of thunderstorms. Hematite used with this rune can shield against electromagnetic energies and is therefore helpful in deflecting curses. Using this rune with a pointed crystal focuses energies and projects them. Thor brings destruction and confusion. Thor is used in the destruction of enemies and in curses. Used to control another or render the individual defenseless. Kaun, torch. In black magic, it is used to incite stupidity and works so that the victim will remain unaware. Gibo also gift. Galdra sound, G, is powerful in binding enemies. 56. Vend, joy. Galdra sound, www, vibrate your lips, like a U with your lips almost closed. When directed for black magic, this rune can be used to instill overconfidence and trust of the wrong things in others, leading to their downfall. Hail, hail. Galdra sound, hhhhhhhhhhh, powerful exhalation from the back of the throat, like a hissing cat. This rune represents hailstones. Involuntary sacrifice with no reward, a rune of suffering and injustice. A rune of destruction, disaster, and violence. This rune is mainly used in black magic, sending destruction in the form of whatever runes are used with it, delivering violent loss and pain. Hagel is a rune of completion and the number 9. Nod, need. Galdra sound, nnnnnnnnnnnnn. Nod is a rune of endurance and will. Used in black magic, it brings suffering and hardship. Nod is a rune of friction and resistance. A rune of banishings and cleansing by fire. ISS, ice. Galdra sound, tightly focused high pitch. ISS is a rune of binding. It represents stealth and sneakiness and is used in operations where one wishes to proceed undetected. ISS bestows invisibility. In nature, ice creeps up on the land, quietly freezing and immobilizing everything in its path. The unaware fall victim to it. Magic Kale, ISS is a rune of binding and preventing action through hidden means. It can halt a plan and prevent something from developing. It is used to conceal and can render a victim unaware of impending personal disaster, to where any actions attempted will be too late in coming. It is also used in preventing any action and can ruin planned activity. Isa freezes action and is the rune of cold, barren stillness and death. Isa is the exact opposite of Fihu. As Fihu is a rune of movement, Isa is a rune of binding. Used in ritual against another, it brings barrenness, prevents prosperity, causes depression, and serves as an obstacle to action. Can be used to cause paralyzing fear or obsession and to prevent or stop movement, both that of growth and disintegration. Care needs to be taken as the rune can also make the user dull and / or obsessive. Isa works to calm hysteria, hyperactivity, and restlessness. Often used in revenge spells and defense, it helps focus the will of the operator. Used with other runes, it acts to bind and shield the energies and keep them from interacting with each other. 57. AR, year. Galdra sound, y. When used in black magic, this rune can bring the worst possible aspects of an individual's WYRD to manifest and develops the forces of self-destruction. Tear. Galdra sound, t. Position your tongue as you would for sounding the letter T and vibrate by keeping the tip of your tongue in this position. Tear is the rune of justice. Good for defense and revenge workings as it represents justice. Bloodstone and hematite are the stones used with this rune. Ing. Galdra sound, INNNNNNNGGGGGGG, as in sing, with the NG held as long as possible. Can deprive a man of his masculinity or anyone, male or female, of their life force. Like a crystal, this rune stores energy until it is needed. It is a magical reserve. Stone is ivory. 58. 59. The knighting pole. A knighting pole is used for cursing and revenge. The pole acts as a magnet for the deadly forces of hell, which are drawn up through the pole from the subterranean streams and projected to the victim. To construct a knighting pole, 1. Obtain a wooden pole approximately 2 feet long. 2. Carve the appropriate rune, S, into the pole, while chanting / vibrating and focusing upon the destruction of the hated one. 3. Attach an image of the hated one or a puppet at the end of the pole, preferably upside down. 4. During the appropriate planetary hours of a waning moon, plant the pole into the ground so the head is facing the direction of the hated one's place of living or where he/she is at most often. The pole should be in a place where it will not be disturbed. 5. Visualize grey destructive energy being drawn from under the ground up along the pole and connect it with the aura of the hated one. You have to will this. Then, affirm what the energy is to do in the present tense, such as, the destructive grey energy is destroying, name of hated one, this energy is replenished continuously from the earth and does its job at all times. 60. 61. Binding spell. What you need. Material to make a puppet. A small personal belonging of the individual you wish to bind, that can be sewn inside of the puppet. A long enough piece of dark blue material or ribbon to bind the puppet like a mummy. A nail and a tree on which to hang the puppet. You can use herbs to fill the puppet if the article is not large enough or does not fit the form of the puppet. Adding cloves will act to still the tongue. Remember, herbs have no real power of their own, other than medicinal properties. 2. Maximize the power of the herb, they must be infused with the elements and other energies. Other herbs to add include one or more of the following: agrimony, asafoetida, birch, bloodroot, broom, comfrey, cypress, dragon's wort, hyssop, St. John's wort, rue, tobacco, vervain, mullein. All of the above herbs are ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn is the planet of binding. When you are finished stuffing and sewing the poppet, mark it to represent the person you wish to bind. Draw the individual's face as best you can. Facial hair, if any, glasses, this does not have to be perfect. Now sew up the mouth with intent. Now go outside, or if you already are outside, go to a tree where the poppet can be nailed by the unbound foot and hung upside down in the image of the tarot card of the Hanged Manitoba. This card represents at a standstill, inactivity, one in suspension, left hanging. Nail the poppet where it will not be disturbed or easily seen. Give thanks to the powers of hell and leave the poppet. 62. 63. The Satanic Rosary. The Satanic Rosary is an excellent and very effective means to raise power and apply energy towards your desires. The Satanic Rosary can also be used as a Kabbalistic meditation tool for working with vibrations, such as with runic meditation. Just slide your fingers over the beads and you don't have to count. Your meditation can flow smoothly and thus have more power. The Catholic Rosary was stolen from Tibetan mala beads and corrupted, as with everything else in that foul program. Tibetan mala beads have 108 beads, as opposed to the stolen Catholic Rosary, which has half that number, at 54. By using the Satanic Rosary, we are taking back what is ours for one and another, blaspheming the Catholic Church. I have found this meditation tool to be excellent, and that is an understatement. The vibrations flow into a rhythm and power is amplified and can be applied towards any desire. To use the Satanic Rosary, ideally, you should be working with the Kabbalah. The true Kabbalah is using vibration, for example vibrating runes, names of demons, Egyptian words of power, etc., to drastically raise your energy and power. This form of meditation is advanced and is extremely effective. You can just do the vibrations for raising energy and awareness, or you can focus on a specific chakra or aspect of your soul, or you can do spell working. I suggest you make your own Satanic Rosary. They are easy to make. The materials are cheaply available in most stores where they have an arts and crafts section. Just purchase the beads and the cord. The Baphomet can be purchased online or at any well-stocked occult shop. I suggest leaving a bit of space on the cord, so you can slide the beads along as you do your vibration. For each one, I also suggest you place an extra bead. I used square-shaped beads for the extra beads, on each side of the larger one when you hit 50. That way you can feel where you are at without interrupting your trance/meditation. To use the Satanic Rosary, here is an example. Feel free to modify your own meditation to fit your individual purposes. 64. For attracting money. 1. Begin with the larger bead right next to the Baphomet and state your affirmation in your mind. Example, I am attracting large amounts of free and easy money. This money is free and all mine to keep or spend as I please. Now, direct the energy, visualizing a white/gold light, this is all-purpose, on your wallet and yourself. 2. Repeat the above for the 4 remaining beads. 3. Your satanic rosary should have 108 beads, so one side of the main line should end with 8. You want to start with the side that has 9. Breathe in. And on the exhale, vibrate. F F F F F F F E E E E E H H H H H H H U U U U U U U. 4. Slide the bead back and go to the next one. Breathe in and on the exhale, vibrate. F F F F F F F E E E E E E H H H H H H H U U U U U U U. 5. Do this for each bead in the sets of 9. Visualize the Fihurun glowing with energy, every so often as you do the vibrations. If you are vibrating the name of a demon, then visualize his/her sigil in the same way. 6. When you reach the larger 10th bead, separating the sets of the smaller 9 beads, state your affirmation again and put your energy you have just raised into attracting money, as given in the example above. You can also use each 10th bead to take a few normal breaths before returning to the vibrations. Again, for love/lust. To bring a desired one into your life, visualize the energy you raise engulfing him/her. You can also fantasize having sexual intercourse or whatever with the one of your desire. I suggest you visualize the light, energy, engulfing both of you, during the meditation/fantasy. When you are finished, you can masturbate and direct more energy from the orgasm into him/her. For black magic, use the rosary the same way, to pump negative energy into your target. I have used the satanic rosary for both attaining my desires, and for just raising my energies. Working with runes is extremely powerful, and during the meditation, it is not unusual to see certain aspects of your soul and feel the energy aligning itself. 65. Candle burning spell. Choose the appropriate candle color for your working, and when the moon is either full or waning, during the nighttime hours, light your candle and focus intently until the candle is burned down on its own and goes out by itself upon the destruction of a hated one. Basic candle color for spells and rituals. Black is an all-purpose color, and when available, black should be used with other colors in every ritual. Different colors attract different energies and stimulate certain vibrations in the chakras. Using candles of specific colors can help to amplify the energies in ritual and spell work. Black candles are all-purpose for any satanic rituals. Black candles used in workings of destruction are used to incite the slower destruction of enemies, opposed to accidents or sudden attacks associated with the color red. Black is also a good color to use to bring discord and confusion to enemies. Black can be used for protection, binding negative forces, and breaking up obstacles and blocks. Black can also be used to reverse and break up negative thought forms. Black absorbs, conceals, creates confusion and chaos, is used for new beginnings, and obtaining knowledge of hidden things. Black is the container of light, and is one of the most powerful of colors. Saturn rules black. Black influences self-control, endurance, and patience. Spells using black energy are best performed during a waning moon, on a Saturday when the planet Saturn is strongly placed and waxing. Spells using black need the power of the root chakra. Blue. For workings of black magic, blue can be used for inciting depression, sadness, and hopelessness, lack of sympathy, coldness, and gloom. Brown. In workings of black magic, brown is used for inciting indecision, hesitancy, sadness, dullness, and uncertainty. For working with brown energy, the feet chakras are used. Energy should be absorbed from the earth through the feet chakras. Green. In workings of black magic, green is used for inciting jealousy, greed, suspicion, resentment, sickness, disease, and disharmony. Venus rules the color green. Workings using green energy should be performed during a waxing moon on a Friday when Venus is strongly placed. Spells using green need the power of the heart chakra. 66. Gray candles are used in spells for inducing death, illness, and / or to incite mourning and sadness. Saturn should be strongly placed. Red candles are used for energy, vitality, inciting passion, arousing anger, pure lust, and for physical gratification. Red is inflammatory and is used in spells for revenge, anger, courage, determination, and dealing with enemies. Red can be used for protection against psychic attack and for self-confidence. Red incites accidents, fires, and injuries. It is used in spells to invoke power and intensity before workings of black magic. Red is physical and bestows energy, strength, dynamism, passionate love, physical desire, willpower, and athletic ability, especially competitive. When used in black magic, red as opposed to black brings on sudden attacks, accidents, bloodshed, violence, and hatred. Red can also be used to incite wars, anarchy, and cruelty. Mars rules red. Workings using the color red need the power of the root chakra and should be performed on Tuesdays, when Mars is strongly placed and waxing. Purple. For workings of black magic, purple can be used to incite tyranny, abuse of power, and for bringing sadness and treachery to others. Jupiter rules purple. Workings using the color purple should be performed on Thursdays. Yellow. In workings of black magic, yellow is used to incite infidelity, cowardice, decay, disease, dying, insanity, and inconsistency in others. White. The moon should be strong. For workings of black magic, white can be used to incite corruption, bring impotence, and to destroy the sex drive. White can also be used to create weakness, neurosis, and fear. More than one color can be used in rituals. The candles should be anointed with appropriate scents and oils before ritual. Oil should be applied with both hands in a stroking motion. Candles represent the element of fire in rituals. and are also used for concentration and focus. They attract demons and spirits. Always make sure to check your candle as a test as you would with incense. Before beginning a ritual. Bad odors or burning the wrong way as with cheap incense can ruin a ritual.